Greetings and welcome to Herman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadiel Kabiro here with Herman Manyora for today's political conversation. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've been sharing, subscribing, and letting your friends know that we are here every single day for this conversation. Sir, how are you doing today?
Fine, and to thank our subscribers as we hit 60 on our way to 100,000. We ask those who have not subscribed to do so.
You know, you said you're fine, and as an educationist, the schools are burning. Someone said if our children don't have a future, our country doesn't have a future. Before we get into politics, you did a video on the same. Why are our schools burning, and for how long will this continue?
Our schools are burning because we are not addressing the issues that we should be addressing. We are running schools in the way we ran them 30, 40 years ago. We are dealing with the children of today as if they are the children of our times. We are having management structures and approaches that are outdated. And a host of many other things. We need to look at education. We need even to look at boarding school. Do we need boarding schools? We need to ask ourselves, why are we doing things to please foreigners? This country and the president would want to get international accolades for 100% transition. So you give a school 800 students, a school that can barely hold 300. And you expect there to be order in that school. You're asking students, because of corona, to compensate for time lost. And you are saying no games, no nothing, as if we don't know the role of games to people of that age. Some outlet, some release, some valve. They go out in the, jump up in the field, do what, go for music, go for drama. You know, because these are young people with a lot of energy. You compress them in a pressure cooker in the name of finishing a syllabus. And we are doing so, we in the education sector, as if we don't know that exams are a very minor aspect of education. So minor. Really, you can even do without exams. Yeah, not everybody exams students.
Do you think some people are calling for the CS to be sacked for all this?
No, you don't need to sack Magoha. Even if you sack Magoha, you'll bring a person who will even be worse. You need to look at what I have said. And at the university, I keep holding this. Even yesterday in our club, I was talking about this with my colleagues. We need a national conversation on education. Open, national conversation. Honest conversation. Nobody should come there with a know-it-all. That you have the answers. I don't have the answers. But we can have a conversation. Time has come for us to have a conversation. Because like you say, if you want to destroy a country, you destroy the education. We are busy destroying the future of this country by destroying education. We need to sit down, look at why our children are doing what they are doing. We know it's bad. We will punish them. We will say their parents will compensate. How do you know when you say parents will build the schools? How do you know whether it's the students who did? Supposing it is internal wrangles between the members of staff. In the school called Siglamela, sometimes back we were told, it was done with the tenders. How then do you make parents? And how do you condemn somebody unheard? In a school like Kakamega High School, where I have a kid, my brother's kid, the children were out for studies as the hostel was burning. How do you know it was the students, for example? You get those kind of questions we will need to ask ourselves. But honestly, when we are honest to ourselves, with ourselves, having an honest conversation, a serious conversation, we will find out exactly what is going on, where to blame, where not to blame, how to avoid blame, how to address the issue. So, in other words, what is happening cannot be left to an individual. Not the minister, not the school principals, not parents, not government. All of us have to sit down and look at education and look at the problems and the challenges. Okay,
today's political conversation is about what will make RAILA president. And as you were speaking, I remember your video, you said, Baba, while you are away, our schools are burning. Do you think he has anything to address when it comes to education and research? You always put that education and research is what will build our country.
Corona should have taught us that the world today, and more so tomorrow, is a world where the moment you abandon your brains, you are finished. We must continuously be on the cutting edge of knowledge in all areas. If this country does not put money into education, we will be finished. Africa will be finished, not just Kenya. If we do not put money down for research, a percentage of our national budget must go for research. If we don't do that, we will be finished as a country, as a people.
Do you think people really care about that? The people that are
If
going
they
to
don't
vote,
care, then they will perish.
the
Let
people,
them perish.
the people that are going to vote for Raila Odinga,
Yes.
do you think they will care whether Raila gives them such agendas
There are
when it
two
comes to
things.
campaigns?
There are two people.
Yeah.
When you are campaigning, they say you campaign in poetry. People have said that, but you govern in prose. When you are trying to woo a girl, it is still the girl being wooed, but things are changing.
Yeah.
No, in the
Things are
interest of gender.
Yeah.
But let's talk about my old-fashioned, old school.
Yeah.
When you woo a girl, you want to marry her, there are things you tell her, and there are ways you behave. But once you get to the house, you can't continue behaving like that. You now you are facing reality. So as a politician, a presidential candidate, you must have two sets of audience in mind. You must have the audience to whom you campaign in poetry. Tell them the exciting things to give you the votes. But you must also have an audience that is serious. This is what a manifesto is supposed to do. Contain the serious things you can do, which if you take to the public, you lose. This is what killed Raila in 2017. He tried to campaign with a manifesto instead of running away with the issue of theft. That's why I looked at David Ndii and asked these people, is NASA not losing the chance when they sing? You see, Raila was supposed to talk about theft and nothing else. Because there's so much theft going on. You know, the Eurobond is the most known.
Yeah.
They are all, and all those kind of things. Instead, David Ndii led him into a manifesto. So you don't campaign using a manifesto. No. Jubilee was also losing it. Trying to put up a portal and showing the things they have done. No. People don't care what you have done. If you are seeking a re-election, if you think you will be re-elected on the basis of what you have done, you campaign in poetry. You tell people things that excite them. So Raila should be telling people things that excite them. But should have an audience that includes Manyora and the rest of these people who should look into the manifesto. Occasionally he will mention, just occasionally. So in that context, therefore, I would expect somebody like Ruto or Raila to tell people, this country requires hope, like I said. And I'm presenting you with this hope. Not in a populist manner, bottoms up and 6,000, no. In a serious manner, and in that context, that you can place education. Because children are not seeing anything around them. How do you tell children to go to school and learn? During our days, we are told, go to school, you'll have a good job. How do you tell them that when everybody who has education doesn't have a job? How do you convince somebody? Motivation for us was in the life we would live if we went to school. Our parents told us they didn't go to school. That's why they are manual laborers. That's why they are jobless. That's why they are working in tatters. Go to school. And they sacrificed everything for us to go to school. And it paid off a bit. Because most of us then got some job. Some of us bad ones, like the one I'm doing. But at least a job nevertheless.
Yeah.
Now, today you want to convince a child to go to school when all his older brothers and sisters have degrees and they don't have a job.
Yeah.
Their neighbors have degrees, they don't have a job. Number two, you tell your kid to go to job. You are a rich person. You are telling your child to go to school. There's no motivation. Why? Your neighbor in Clareshwa is a drug dealer, but a celebrated one in society.
Yeah.
The other side, the other neighbor is a thief, but a celebrated one. So what are children seeing? There is no inspiration. The people whom this country is celebrating are basically thieves, murderers, rapists, drug dealers. You know, there's nothing in them that a child can look forward to. I want to be like so and so. Now, those who are people who should inspire your children are looked upon, down upon. Professors are paid like how a professor earns less than an MCA.
Doctors are striking.
Doctors are striking. When doctors went on strike, the first time I think, a couple of years ago, in the 1990s or early 2000s, Makangas they were surprised. Makangas was like, you mean we earn more than doctors? The people we carried on our shoulders after KCP results were out. You remember those?
Yeah.
With the twigs celebrating and dancing and ulating.
Yeah.
The A student, the 430 marks child, the kid who got N from 4 and was carried shoulder hard.
80 plus points.
He becomes a doctor. Next time you see he's carrying a twig in the streets, sitting down, his salary to be moved from 40, 50,000 to 60. So who will value education?
Oh, so
and then why are we getting surprised that children are not interested in education? Why are you getting surprised? The people who should inspire our children are looked down by society. They are badly rewarded. They live in the worst parts of Nairobi. They drive the worst cars if they drive. Where is the inspiration for our children?
Okay, you know, we are speaking about what will make Raila president.
So in that case, therefore, I'm saying if Raila wants to be president, he must paint hope. And one of the areas he should identify, which he can address both audiences, both the serious audience in a manifesto and the ordinary voter, is how this country can begin on a new setting. A new setting that gives hope to the Kenyan youth, to the Kenyan child. Not by promising them wheelbarrows or this, or if you are not working, I give you 6,000. No, by showing that this country can work. And in this new Kenya that I'm trying to be president of, this Kenya will give you hope. Will give you an opportunity to be somebody.
There's a time you said that Ruto needs drunk supporters, people that will go to die for him.
Yes.
If Raila gives us this hope and gives his audience the hope that you're saying, will he have the drunk audience, or is it a little bit too late for him?
I've said he must address two people. You need votes. Therefore, you address the people. Not so much in a populist way. You know, there's a middle ground there. Because, for example, if I'm in the Raila think tank, this issue of theft of public resources, what it does to the country, and what stopping it would mean for this country. If I worked on that, if I worked on that properly, I've always said if you make me go to Mombasa with my feet in the Indian Ocean, thinking for you, I will come up with a blueprint that can give hope to even the most hopeless Kenyan, without being given a wheelbarrow or 6,000. I'll show you how I will stop theft in a very practical manner, in a very technical sense. Nobody will steal. And this is what we shall do to those who will steal. This is what we shall do with the money we shall save from theft. This is the Kenya that I'm bringing on board. This is the Kenya that has a minimum wage of 50,000. No Kenyan shall be paid less than 50,000 shillings. In my Kenya as the president. That is the hope I'm talking about Raila to bring on board.
Do you think Raila will capture the elite, the people that want to think about the elections more than DP Ruto, who's dealing with the hustler nation?
You see, Raila stands in a very good place. He can address Ruto's audience while at the same time addressing the other audience. You get it?
Yeah.
Talking to people that Ruto is talking to is not a very difficult thing. If you ask me again, Mombasa, 1 week with my feet in the Indian Ocean, to destroy the hustler narrative, I'll destroy it. Not because it is a good thing to do, but because, again, it's a dangerous thing. You see?
Yeah.
To try to divide society into those who have and those who don't have is a dangerous thing to do. Many countries have paid for that kind of folly.
Finally,
Yes.
let me ask you this before Bilal kicks me out of here. Deputy President William Ruto has been speaking about this not being a beauty contest.
Yes.
People should come up with the things that they have done. He said that the rest of them are rallying behind President Uhuru Kenyatta. Speaking of Raila Odinga in that perspective, and he has he has nothing to show that he has done since he took over office. That's what he's pushing right now. Would you say this kind of language will make Raila not become president?
You see, Raila to become president must know the things that Ruto say will affect him. Yes, if Ruto convinces people that this is not about beauty contest, this is about track record. And then he proceeds to say things even if he's not saying the truth, because he's not saying the truth. Because if Raila were to put here what he has done, and Ruto, and sometimes I tell people, politics is so stupid. You know why? Politics is forcing her to compare Raila with people when there should be no comparison. You can't look at Raila, what he has done, who he is, what he stands for, and get an individual in this country among these who are contesting with whom you can compare Raila. But no, politics is forcing us to compare Ruto with Raila. So Raila, I'm saying, in summary, Raila must play politics. I've said this before. He must understand that Ruto is capable of running away with the votes. So in order to prevent that, if you are Raila, because this topic is about Raila, not against Ruto, about Raila, you must not allow Ruto to run away with the people. That means politics. But at the same time, you need to give Kenyans hope by addressing the serious issues. You get it?
And that is what will make Raila win.
That's what will make Raila president. Play politics. Don't let Ruto run away with the crowds. But at the same time, provide hope through very serious, well thought out ideas and blueprints and programs that you can bring in place to change this country from a poor third world country where people go to bed hungry, people are jobless, into a place where people can actually, you see, Ruto will say, I'll create 4 million jobs by putting down 100 billion. What is 100 billion shillings? This government is putting down more than that 100 billion, but those jobs are not there. Yeah. So you must come up with hope through a very well thought out idea and say, look, this is the Kenya of tomorrow. This is the Kenya of tomorrow. And this Kenya is possible. Raila is saying inawezekana. It must go beyond the slogan inawezekana. Can you show me the Kenya of tomorrow in which the youth of this country have hope?
And actually believe.
And they believe and they can see.
Inawezekana.
Like what Trump did.
Make America great again.
Yeah, and he was showing how America can be great. He was saying, look, we are the most stupid people. Look at NATO. People have money. We still fund them. And then they have money to squander on other things. That is foolish. We shall stop. Look at our companies. They go to Mexico. They go to China. They're exporting our jobs. We shall reduce the taxes, bring them back home. They manufacture those things because after all you manufacture things in Mexico, but they come back to America. And you have exported your jobs.
Actually,
so by cutting the taxes, bring back the companies that had closed for many years, starting motor industry and the other people, people could, yeah, it's possible. That company, Rivertex that closed, Kikomi that closed, you know, we can bring these companies back by, so that's Raila, by putting an end to dumping in this country. If I'm Raila, say, these stupid things you buy in River Road, electronics that are cheap, they're dumped, they're even dangerous with radiation, we will put a stop. None of them will come in this country. We will assemble our own things. We will make our own shoes.
Inawezekana.
So if you do it that way, inawezekana. But they don't have thinking, they are lazy, and they are afraid of America. And the other, when the president talked about fish, wasn't he forced to eat humble pie? The president of this country.
Lax, he was told.
He had to withdraw. Oh, people are, and some of these fish is even plastic, most likely. So we need somebody with the courage to say, Chinese will not sell fish in this country. Americans will not bring second-hand clothes in this country. You need that, the Kagame kind of courage. So if Raila wants to beat Ruto, first of all, he must have the courage to say things people like Uhuru and Ruto are not saying. Okay. And secondly, he must play the politics that does not let Ruto dominate the voter.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Until we do this, until we have these conversations again. These are the kinds of conversations that never end, you know, and that's why we like to have this conversation. Tell your friends that we're always here every single day. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.